Yo, talking to my fam in the Philippines. Corporations over here are trying to take you instantly. Imperialism at its best or at its finest. You probably don't know cause of what they taught your mindset. Believing what they say to be a better person in their eyes, while taking your resources in disguise. U.S. occupation in the motherland, drop wages left in mothers' hands. No support, so they work away in foreign lands, often abused and sent back home in boxes. Not out for cargo, but more like a coffin. That side alone left me a little conscious. So here's a fun fact, expanding more knowledge. Cause back in 1898 a meeting was held between Spain and America, and the countries for sale. Long story short, the US bought them all for $20 million. Puerto Rico to Guam, Philippines and Cuba. That's the whole damn list. The countries got
well, I may not be the smartest kid in this class, but I have learned a lot that many colored people have been screwed over before, and they're still being screwed over. And like, I'm glad I took this class because it showed me the truth of what's really going on in the world, and that the government is a whole bunch of bullshit.
Basically, why we're struggling right now, how the Philippines faced its first oppressor and how we handled it, but another oppressor came, such as the US and Spanish. And right now we're learning about how it's affecting us today, and how around the world, same shit's happening to us.
I learned about Filipino heritage. Well, I learned that how a lot of Filipino people suffered.
In FHS.
That many Filipinos are struggling in our countries, and that it's mostly it was US fault, and now we're like looking for solutions for it, and like we're the future solver of the problem.
So what I've been learning in the FHS is the life of being a petty bourgeoisie. It's a type of population that has the privilege to study real things, like being in the first world countries like USA. So that's what I've learned so far, and I feel there's something that I don't know, that I just keep going.
This is it. A Mr. Ray production. Know me on the flow. Here we go. My big homie.
It's a very tarnished culture. It's very shrouded in a lot of bullshit, quite frankly. And it's very saddening. It's disheartening. But even though I'm not particularly part of the culture, I feel like I have some sort of connection to it. It's my fellow man suffering, hundreds of years through bullshit that even my own people suffer through by the hands of Spanish. It's very it's very touching, but you have to remember that today in present day, we have to move forward and look at the connections and really connect it to our lives today and apply it so that we don't make the same mistakes again, so that the same tragedies don't happen again. We move forward as a race, the human race, not exactly just the Filipino race, the Mexican race, white race, whatever, but to gain some sort of solidarity, humanitarian kind of solidarity.
That's what's up. My big homie told me I need to slow down, I need to wake up, I need to look around. gave me some books that wouldn't be found in any school or library around town. Started breaking down the system which we live, how U.S. foreign policy made us immigrants, taking it way back to when whites came on ships, broke our backs, took our land using whips, guns and crosses. Now my folks walk whips, guns and crosses. Now my folks wanna act like bosses. It's all bullshit. This is the word of the people, not the pulpit. I'm not a preacher, I'm a teacher. I work with kids on the street that are eager to advance, but they can't, cause they ain't got nothing in their hands. And it hurts when I see one of my kids on the block at the spot serving what it is, keeping watch for the cops who are racist. They hate all of us, you can see it in their motherfucking faces. This is us, this is it. 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 This is us, this is it.
To me, me in the class, I was just like, oh, you know, this is another class. But then when I entered it, and then once I started learning, I was like, dang, you know, this class is real legit. So now, everything just seems much better. FHS is like the best class.
It made me realize my struggles even more. What I've been going through. You feel me? I just question it. I just question my struggles, but now that I take in this class, I actually realize why it's happening to me.
Signing for, signing off, but y'all keep your heads bopping. Ain't nobody stopping as Long Beach keeps beat rocking. Fat Gums, E.T., know me, Mr. Ray, power struggle, one love from the Bay to L.A. This is us, this is it. 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 My name is Nomi. Welcome to the songs like this. Hey, hey. Don't try to change the world, let the world change you. Until you understand what's real, you might be confused. Cause political rappers like a trap sometimes. The deaf act blind, but they feel it in their spine. You ever wonder why? Are you cool with it all? Do you think about life? Do you let things fall in place instead of questioning things you see? Are you actually free or part of the machine? I used to be a thief, but now I give back. For the simple fact, when I die, they might ask, what did you do to make the best of the world? Did you let the city burn or quench some people's thirst? Simple as a farmer, complex as the earth. Each word is the seed till the dirt gives birth. Feed the children first so their stomachs don't hurt. Gonna need the energy to carry on with this work.
Wake up a little too late to say that it's morning, but my son crawling over my stomach just kinda forced it. And my son's giggle make things look not that important, but my son's giggle make things look twice as important. Plus the morning news, sandwich murder and war, with little reports about the newest franchise store. And while I pour more juice inside my baby boy's cup, I know baby boys back home are pouring out blood or just not eating enough and drinking water with mud. And the simplest commodities are probably just out of reach. Out in the street, your boy yell peace. While I speak, kids are checking out what's on my feet. At least no me or Pele or my squad in LA spend the majority of our day out working for change, for real. And I have seen so much, but for now I just play out in the sun with my son.
I used to be deaf, dumb and blind, but now I feel the sunshine. I keep my ear to the street cause it beats like a lifeline.
Walk down my memory lane, southeast streets, I remember the pain. Lighting that flame up in paradise, getting high on the hills in the back of the car. You and I never knew about the TY. Now let's see why. The only people in our hood that was organized were like my brother and his homies doing drive-bys. Looking back at it all now, I realize why some never made it, some graduated. Folks stuck in the streets, so incarcerated. I used to be deaf, dumb, and blind, but the truth set me free from my slave mind. Struggle chooses you, but it takes time. It takes more than the physical, it takes mine.